Hello everybody, Aki here and welcome back to Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. It's been, what, 1 or 2 weeks since the last episode. I'm sorry, but things are cleared up now and we're gonna begin. Last episode I believe we were doing something with Hasegawa sensei. But let's continue. Today is the Tendo Senior High Cultural Festival. I stood in the back of the room behind a temporary wall, preparing meals for the maid cafe with Misaki. I was almost expecting Miyahara or Muranaka to humiliate me by making me be one of the waitresses in the maid uniforms, but it didn't even seem to cross their mind. Maybe they just didn't want to see me at all today. Do you have any orders ready? Do you have the orders ready, Tsukiko? I nodded and slid over a tray of food to Misaki. This one's ready. Misaki took the tray and handed it to the waitress that was waiting for it, and we continued to work. When my shift was over, I excused myself from the room and stepped into the hallway. I wasn't particularly interested in seeing what the other classes were doing for the festival, but I didn't really want to stick around and potentially get drafted back into the work by Miyahara. I was just leaning against the wall, spacing out, when someone walked up to me and waved to get my attention. Hey Wakahisa, are you free right now? I tried not to show my surprise, but I'm pretty sure I jumped when I suddenly saw Ryoto in front of me. Ryoto? I'm not doing anything. Ryoto smiled and pointed down the hallway. One of the first year classrooms did a haunted house, so I thought we could go check it out. It's not the same as having been part of making it, but it should still be fun. I felt my face heat up, and I felt like I had to hold my chest in order to keep my heart from bursting out. Okay, let's go. Ryoto took my hand and led me down the hallway to the homeroom with the haunted house. I was almost too stunned to think. Ryoto had never held my hand before. Oh, that's cute. The rest of the festival passed in a pleasant blur. Ryoto and I visited a number of the different attractions together, but I felt energized rather than exhausted when it was over. Ryoto and I headed back to our classroom as it started to get dark out, since we were selected for cleanup duty along with Misaki and Iwakura. Who are these people? I was a bit surprised when I saw Miyahara and Muranaka had stayed to clean up with us. What are you two still doing here? Miss Hasegawa scolded us about last night. So we're gonna help you guys clean this up. Miss Hasegawa didn't seem upset when we finished preparation so late last night, so I wasn't surprised that she was the reason these two were staying to help. The 6 of us worked together to clean up the cultural festival decorations and put everything back in place. However, just when we were getting close to finishing up, I heard a thunderclap outside. Damn it, it's raining out. May? Amazing. Whoa, look at that storm. I'm glad I have my umbrella. I never carry an umbrella around. I stood up from packing away the maid costumes to check to see if I had brought my umbrella. However, it wasn't in my desk, my locker, or my school bag. Hey, Misaki, do you have a spare umbrella? Sorry, I've only got mine. Do you need me to walk you home? Iwakura looked up at the cleaning board. Hey, Ryoto, don't make your girlfriend walk home in the rain. My face felt hot when Iwakura said that, but he just turned back to the board without seeing my reaction. Did you forget your umbrella, Wakahisa? I could walk you home if you'd like. I was trying to calm my heart down and come up with a response when I saw Miyahara go up to the board and start drawing on it. Yare, das is all. Hey, I just cleaned that. This is more important, blockhead. What the fuck was that? With a few quick strokes, Miyahara had drawn an umbrella on the board and started writing my name next to Ryoto's underneath. An umbrella of togetherness, I'm jealous. I felt so embarrassed when I looked away from everyone and just went back to work cleaning up. Okay. Hey, don't tease her about it. You wouldn't want me teasing you about someone you liked. Misaki put a hand on my shoulder and smiled at me. They're being a bit pushy about it, but you might as well head home with Ryoto. It'll be a good chance to confess your feelings to him. I nodded slowly, not really wanting to talk about this anymore. I'll think about it, just let's finish up here first. We went back to work, and within half an hour, we had finished cleaning everything up. Iwakuro was the first to leave, waving to us and saying goodbye. He indicated Ryoto while he was looking at me and gave me a wink, causing me to blush. Oh, they look like delinquents, especially that one on the left. Miyahara and Muranaka patted me on the shoulder, one on each side. Have fun! Be sure to tell us all the details tomorrow. I looked to Misaki for help, but she already shrugged nervously. Miyahara and Muranaka let go of me, and Ryoto walked over to me and offered his hand. Well, shall we be off? This is so surreal. Is this really happening to me? There's something off about this. It's fake! But I'm gonna save it just in case. Hold on. There's something wrong with this. This all seems too perfect, too convenient. Ryoto's always too busy spending time with his other friends to spend the entire day alone with me. Even if he specifically decided to dedicate this day to making me happy, he'd never convince Iwakuro to be nice to me for longer than a few minutes. And Miyahara and Muranaka. It would take more than a teacher's scolding to get them to be friendly with me. They've spent the past year and a half calling me names and spreading rumors about me. It's all too perfect. This is a prank, or worse, a delusion. Wakahisa, you look pale. Are you alright? I felt chills spreading through my body, and I suddenly felt a lot heavier, as if something was weighing me down. Something's not right. Huh? What are you saying? Did I upset you? A sudden pain split my head, and for a brief moment I felt like I was drenched in water. I shivered and hugged myself. Wakahisa, what's wrong? The headache began to spread from the rest of my body until my entire being was in pain. This place. Was this place really home? Or did I never make it back? I ran out of the room, shoving Ryoto out of the way. Wakahisa, stop! I ran out of the school and into the street, not even taking the time to switch out my shoes. I felt like my head was going to explode. In my hurry, I tripped on something and fell face first into the ground. When I opened my eyes again, I was in a familiar dark forest. I pushed myself up and looked down at my drenched hands. One of them bleeding? That's a typo. Bleeding a bit from a small cut. It was all fake. I punched the ground and forced myself to my feet. We never left this place. I thought of Ryoto, who was still wandering in the rain, not knowing that whatever he's seeing was an illusion. I started running around the trees, shouting at the top of my lungs, Ryoto! Ryoto! Doko desu ka? I kept running until I finally saw a landmark, and then I ran toward the site. It's a school. He's got weird eyes. I don't like his eyes. It looked like it was a walkway between two buildings. One of them must have been the old schoolhouse Ryoto and I had woken up in earlier, or after the school festival preparations. Wandering around the walkway was a waterlogged figure that looked like Ryoto, but he was barely conscious. Ryoto! Ryoto-kun! I ran over to him and grabbed him by the arms. Ryoto, are you alright? Ryoto's eyes were unfocused and he didn't look at me when he talked. Shame. It rained after the festival. Huh. At least I remembered my umbrella so we don't get wet. I shook Ryoto roughly, trying to get him to snap out of it. Ryoto, look around you! We're still in that old schoolhouse. Don't worry, Wakahisa. We don't have to worry about that old place anymore. I growled and shoved Ryoto away. You need to snap out of it, Ryoto. I was gonna say something, but never mind. I clenched my hands into fists and punched Ryoto in the face, causing him to lose his balance and stumble backwards. Ah, damn it! Ryoto looked at me and held up his hands in a confused gesture. What the hell, Wakahisa? Are you awake yet, Ryoto, or do I need to hit you again? I should give that a 1-2. The two-piece combo from Popeyes. Ryoto gave me a weird look, but then he looked around and his eyes widened. Wait, what the hell? What the hell is going on? We never escaped. It was all just a trick to make us think we were safe. Ryoto gritted his teeth and shivered. Why? Why couldn't it just be over with? I grabbed Ryoto by the arm and dragged him toward one of the buildings. Not here. Let's get inside before we get sick. Ryoto reluctantly followed me as I led him to the doorway and opened it. We shut the door behind us after we walked in, trailing water with each step. It looked like an entrance, which made me think this was a secondary building. Once I had examined the room and attempted to dry my glasses, I turned to look at Ryoto. He seemed really shaken up. His shivering could have been a result of his damp clothes and the chill in the air, but his expression was clearly one of someone who was terrified. In the year and a half I had known Ryoto, I never saw him afraid like this. Something inside me made me want to comfort him, so I stepped closer to him and wrapped my arms around him. Huh? Wakahisa? We're going to make it out of here, Ryoto. For real this time. I said it without thinking, but as empty as those words may be, saying them out loud made me almost believe them myself. So don't worry. I'll make sure we make it out of here. Ryoto chuckled a bit, looking slightly relieved. You know, it's usually the guy that says things like that. I stepped out of the embrace and shrugged. Maybe, but I don't think that matters right now. Yeah. Ryoto blushed a bit and averted his eyes. I frowned and tried to figure out what he was embarrassed about. Is something wrong? I just noticed that your hoodie gets really tight around you. Really, dude? That's a hoodie? Wait. I thought it would look... That's a hoodie? Oh yeah, I guess. I felt my face go hot and I immediately turned away from Ryoto to hide my embarrassment. Let's just go see what's in this building. We don't want to stay here any longer than we have to. My cheeks were burning as I opened the door into the main hallway, imagining what may have gone through Ryoto's head as he looked at my chest. He was imagining them boobs. He wants to touch the boobs. We walked down the hallway for only a minute or so before we saw familiar faces. Blurred out faces. Is that Asahara and Iwakura? The two were jogging down the hallway, but they stopped as soon as they reached us. Tsukika! Tayama! Where the hell have you been? Yare yare. Why are you two all wet? I looked at Ryoto and sighed. We tried to leave through the forest, but that didn't work out. I figured you'd be dumb enough to try that. We don't have time for insults like that. We need to share what we learned about this place before we run out of time. We all exchanged the information that we had learned so far. According to Misaki, our own teacher is the one responsible for us ending up here. It's hard to believe, but Misaki seems entirely convinced that Miss Hasegawa and her dead sister are in league with each other and trying to kill us. Misaki had also learned that there are 5 pentagrams scattered across the 2 buildings, which she thinks are connected to a way out. Since Iwakura already erased 2 of the main building and 2 in the main building and Misaki erased 1 on the 2nd floor of this building, there were just 2 left to go, both in this building. Miss Hasegawa said she saw the markings in the gymnasium and the incinerator room, but I don't know where either of those are. We should split up into 2 groups. We'll find them faster. No, we're not splitting up. I felt everyone's eyes on me as I said that. I was a little surprised myself. We've all been isolated and vulnerable this whole time. Now that we're together, we need to stay together. Misaki nodded and crossed her arms. Tsukiko's right. It's safer to travel in a group, especially with Miss Hasegawa still looking for us. Iwakura looked like he wanted to complain, but he went silent as soon as Misaki mentioned Miss Hasegawa. Where do we start looking then? I looked down the hallway in each direction and made a decision. We'll start down that side and check every door. If it's not the room we need, we move on. We need to get this done as quickly as possible. Ryoto and Misaki nodded, and Iwakura shrugged. I suppose that was assent. Let's go. We began checking rooms in search of the gymnasium and the incinerator room. I started to realize that my clothes were still wet and wondered if there was something I could do about that before I caught a cold. Luckily, when Misaki found the incinerator room, I could feel the heat of the furnace from outside the door. What is this music? You get this from SoundCloud? This is like some dubstep corpse party. What? Finally, someplace warm. We all explored the room to look for the pentagram, enjoying the warmth emitting from the furnace. Iwakura was the one to locate the pentagram, and he huffed when he saw it. Damn it. What's wrong? Iwakura pointed at the furnace opening and... Oh, sorry. I had some food before this. One sec. Yukora pointed at the furnace opening, and we all looked more closely to see that the pentagram was drawn inside the incinerator itself. How are we supposed to erase that? Misaki walked over to the side that she'd been searching and picked up a metal bucket. With this? That's a bucket. I'm impressed by your observation, Tayama. Shut up. Misaki sighed at the boys. I remembered the rain outside and figured out what Misaki's plan was. Oh my god, it's going again. You're going to wash it away with the rainwater. That, or put out the fire so we can wipe the pentagram away. It was unlikely that a little rainwater would be able to put out an incinerator fire, but it's not like we had any other options. We should all go to get the water, just to make sure nothing happens. Iwakura scoffed, but the others seemed okay with the plan. After collecting the water in her bucket, Misaki brought it back to the furnace and dumped it in the opening. A puff of red smoke exploded from the furnace, and the heat in the room lessened, leaving a light, airy feeling in the room. It's gone! One to go! Right, let's find it. We all hurried through the hallways, checking doors as we came upon them. Just as we were running out of doors to check, Ryoto called out to us. Oi! Because it's over here, let's go! Yada. We hurried into the gymnasium and started looking for any sign of the pentagram. The gymnasium seemed in pretty good shape compared to the rest of the old schoolhouse, but it felt too empty somehow. I was just about to ask if anyone had found the pentagram yet when I noticed it drawn on the wall next to a patch of green ooze. I found it! Over here! Everyone came over to me and looked at the pentagram. It's that damn green goo again. It's just goo, get over it. I ignored their bickering and started wiping away the pentagram. You're sure this will help us, Misaki? There was a silence, then Misaki took a breath and answered. It's our only lead. I didn't feel any more confident, but I wiped the rest of the pentagram away. A wind blew through the gymnasium. Oh my gosh. From some unseen place, and I shivered. But after that, I felt nothing special. Is that it? That's all we get? I turned around to see Misaki clutching her head. Why didn't it do anything? Jin said that it had to be connected to a way out. I stepped over to comfort Misaki, but I saw something behind her that made me gasp. What is... Oh god. On the floor of the gymnasium, patches of green ooze had come up, and more was oozing out from the floorboards as we watched. This fucking green stuff. I was about to tell everyone to run, but then I noticed something. It's spelling out something. What does it say? 1, 2. Is that supposed to be a classroom number? If it is, that'd be in the other building. I looked around at everyone. They all looked as confused and afraid as I was. If not more. Whatever happens, it's going to end soon, isn't it? Let's go over there, even if it's a trap. This is all we have, so let's do our best to make it out of here. Misaki nodded slowly. Yeah, we've come this far. Let's see this through to the end. Might as well, right? Better than dying in green goo, anyway. Having all decided to follow this path, we turned and left the gymnasium and headed towards the main building in classroom 1-2. When we reached the door marked as classroom 1-2, I slid it open before anyone could change their minds. One by one, we all entered the room. Even before we were able to examine the room, we heard the door slam shut behind us. No going back now. I looked around to see that the room was a mess, even more so than the rest of the schoolhouse. Desks and chairs and cabinets were strewn everywhere. There was a splash of blood on the chalkboard, and in the far corner of the room was a figure underneath a slashed poster. This place blows. Should have figured it'd end up in a dump like this. Everyone ignored Iwakura and kept looking around the room. I decided to climb over a pile of chairs to see what was underneath the slashed poster. Tsukiko, what are you doing? Just trying to check something. I moved closer to the figure in the corner of the room and noticed that it wore the same uniform as I did. The figure had rotted away and was a little more of a skeleton now. I checked the student ID holder to see if the figure still had her name tag. Pulling out the name tag, I read it slowly, trying to make sure I read it right in the dim light. Shiho Hasegawa. Oh, you fucking dead. Oh, you done fucked up now. I froze as soon as I read the name. Was this Miss Hasegawa's sister? Find what you wanted from my body? Why did I do that? I jumped with a start and spun around to see a girl standing in front of me. The girl was the same one Ryoto and I had met earlier, and she still wore the red ribbon that struck out to me. You're Shiho? Not as smart as my beloved sister, but not as dumb as you look. Shiho gestured with her arm, and I looked back to see that the others were lying in heaps on the floor. Misaki! Ryoto! Shiho chuckled and gave me a smile devoid of warmth. Don't worry, they're just dreaming at the moment. I'll kill them later, after I figure out where Sister Dearest got off to. You four have been keeping me busy, you know. I want to see Sister Dearest so badly, but you keep messing things up for me, so I keep putting it off. I took a step forward and grabbed Shiho by the shoulders. Let them go! Let us go! Why are you doing this? Why? Shiho giggled and grabbed me by my throat. The movement was so sudden that I lost my grip on her shoulders. Ah! Well, because it's fun, that's why. What else am I gonna do to pass the time? She said it so casually, as if that's really all there was to it. So all of this suffering, it's just a game to her? I tried to say something in response, but Shiho tightened her grip and lifted me off my feet. Does this surprise you? Don't tell me you never felt the urge to kick someone while they're down. Sure, there are rules against that, but sometimes you still want to do it. And people make some pretty amusing faces when you torment them. You should try it sometime. What is this? Did Miss Hasegawa really have a sociopath like this as her younger sister? Well, since you're still awake, why don't I show you how fun hurting people is? First, we need to First, we need to decide which body part you wouldn't mind losing. Where should we begin, Oh, dude, you fucking dead. Oh, man. Oh, you're so screwed, girl. And that's it for this episode. Thank you guys. That's chapter 5, Temptation. We're probably nearing the end by now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting down and watching me play Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. Sorry. I'm gonna finish recording this, and then I still have to decide what I want to do next. I'm probably gonna finish Paranormal Syndrome 2, or one of the bigger games that I kind of left behind. Stop burping, you piece of shit. Anyways, if you want to know more about future plans or what I'm up to on the daily, follow my Twitter. I post a lot of stuff on Tumblr, but mostly it's just reblogs of stuff that I like Overwatch and Love Live. But those are where I'm most active. I do have a Facebook page, which I don't really use that much. And follow me on Twitch as well, because I do stream to both Twitch and YouTube, but it's good to have some people on Twitch too. Anyways, thank you guys so much for sitting down and watching me play Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. This is Aki. Have a great day, and remember to always stay safe.
Don't tell me, baby, 'cause I don't really wanna know what happened last night. Oh no, just say it wasn't so. Just say you love me and let me fall back into sleep. And when I wake up, just say I had a